And the more we explore, the more we're kind of shocked. I had woken up in a US city where for some reason everyone was speaking Spanish. Alright, it is the morning. I got my coffee.
I'm Jordan.
And I'm Maddie.
And we just arrived in Guadalajara, Mexico.
We're noticing some stuff that's similar to the US. We're noticing some stuff that's a lot different. And generally just soaking in the newness and everything that makes up Guadalajara. So these are our first impressions.
What have you noticed?
Well, when we first came into town, my first thought was, wow, this reminds me a lot of Houston, Texas in the US because it's huge. You see these buildings are massive, factory-style buildings, much bigger than anything we've seen anywhere else in Mexico. The streets are wide, there's a lot of traffic, and there's quite a few tall buildings as well that we saw on the way in.
Yeah, there's a lot more money here than I thought there'd be. It is a really nice neighborhood. As we're driving in here, we see like a guard at one of them. Our Airbnb host ends up telling us that a few houses down is where the guy lives who started the De La Rosa marzipan candies here, which is a super popular staple Mexican candy.
You've probably even seen them in the US.
Oh.
The next thing we noticed about Guadalajara is that it is impeccably clean. We are hard pressed to find any piece of garbage anywhere. Super clean, maybe even more clean than Mazatlan. People have perfectly manicured their lawns, trees, everything around their house, the bushes, everything is perfect. No trash anywhere.
So many people sweeping every day outside.
For how many people live here, that's kind of shocking to me. Now the next thing I thought about Guadalajara, if I had just woken up here and I had no idea where I was and I just started walking around outside and exploring and trying to see what's up, I would actually think that I had woken up in a US city where for some reason everyone was speaking Spanish. That's how similar it feels, looks, seems to somewhere in the US.
We've been in Mexico for 2 months, and before coming here, I had heard about light-skinned Mexicans, but I had never actually seen them.
Except for me.
You're half Mexican, quarter Mexican.
It counts.
But anyway, first night we're here, we're at a restaurant. There's a whole bunch of light-skinned Mexicans all around us, and I thought they were going to be speaking English because I didn't realize they were Mexican. But then they were all speaking Spanish, like they sounded fluent.
Which isn't to say that you can't be fluent in Spanish and also American. However, since then, we've seen multiple people who are light-skinned and very clearly come from somewhere in Mexico and just motor mouth all the words.
So that was pretty shocking to see.
Which leads us to the next point. Since there are so many light-skinned Mexicans, and that's a normal thing here in Guadalajara, when people come up to us and start talking to us, they don't immediately go, oh, white, gringos, they only speak English. So they just talk a million miles an hour, and then we're sitting there like, yeah, you're gonna have to repeat that, please. Más despacio, por favor. Next thing we noticed was on our very first night here where we were walking around. This is after dark. We noticed multiple young women walking alone by themselves in these neighborhoods at night. The whole time we've been here so far, which is just a few days, we felt incredibly safe, not like we were in any type of danger at all, even when we were walking at night.
More thing that caught us by surprise for how nice some of the neighborhoods are and how modern the buildings are and our prices. You can get a 20-minute Uber ride for $3, get a coffee down the street for $1, or the private room that we're staying in our Airbnb is something like $13 a night.
So despite the fact that this is a megalopolis, huge city that seems much wealthier than other ones that we have visited, the prices are not that much higher than other cities in Mexico. There's a few instances where, for instance, you can go to a nice restaurant and spend $10 on a meal, and you should probably be wearing a tie if you're going there. But for the vast majority of places, they're pretty comparable to the prices that we've paid in, say, San Blas or Mazatlan. It's pretty affordable to be here on first impressions. The more we explore, the more we're kind of shocked at how nice and new a restaurant might be, but that the prices are still comparable to what you'd be paying in a little mom and pop.
In comparison to Phoenix, Arizona, I think the overall prices here are about a third of what we would be paying there.
That's reasonable, yeah. So those are our first impressions of Guadalajara. We really do like this city and are excited to do more exploring here. Hopefully you found this useful as a comparison between what lives in the US and compared to other cities that we've been in Mexico to here. If you have any questions, please let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to our channel. We post new videos every single day about all of our travels through Mexico and the shenanigans all along the way. Alaska, say bye!